All right, looks like we are live. I'm so excited to be with you guys today looking at the HP ProBook 630 and the HP ProBook 450. So these are two different models. This one has an i7 1165 G7 and this one has the i5 1135 G7. So what's really rad about these two laptops being reviewed head to head in the coming days on my channel is we're going to see if you really need to pick up a i7. If you can save a little bit of money with the i5, it's got 4 cores, 4 threads. It's got the Intel Iris Xe graphics. And so what's going to be cool is figuring out, okay, do we really need to get the more beefier i7 or can we just stick with the i5? I mean, is that good enough? And you know what is awesome is I have some benchmarks right here to show you guys how these things handle themselves in Photoshop. So right off the bat, we're looking at Photoshop. And as you can see, the i5 is actually beating out the i7 on the Photoshop benchmark, which is really, really cool. We're going to get into a little bit more of that when I run the full test and figure out why that's happening. But another thing I want to point out is look here at the Acer Swift 3. It's got a 478 with the Ryzen 7 4000 series. Now, the Ryzen 7 5000 series is coming out this year, but as we stand right now, a Intel i5 is beating out a Ryzen 7 4700U. Like I said, 5000 series still has to come out, but that's pretty awesome to see that we're having Intel and Ryzen keep pace with one another. There's a lot of rumors going around. I don't want to say rumors, but a lot of like fan talk about Ryzen's taking over, Intel's dead. What are they going to do? And as you see right there in that Photoshop benchmark, we still have Intel and Ryzen neck and neck. So let's keep moving forward and figure out what's going to happen this coming year. Okay, one thing I want to point out here is this to me is and this by this I mean the PowerBook 630 is very much a Acer Swift 3 HP version. And let's talk through that a little bit. I know we're looking at the ProBooks here, but let me just highlight a few things. First of all, I love this keyboard compared to the Swift 3. Now the Swift 3 I keep pointing is right over here because it's what I'm running my live stream slides on. I really liked the Swift 3 a lot. I've used it extensively over the past year. But one thing that really stands out about these ProBooks is the keyboard, because when you get into these more budget-friendly laptops, what you're finding is, more affordable components. So, let's jump over here real quick. Let's look at the slide 3. There we go. So this keyboard deck here is nice. I mean, that's the only word it's just soft touch. It's quiet. It is very smooth, and compared to something like the Acer Swift 3, which fits in its budget category, it is head and shoulders above it. It's comparable to the HP Omen, which if you've been on my channel long, I've raved about the HP Omen extensively. And so having this same HP Omen super budget friendly, not super budget, excuse me, having the same HP Omen keyboard in a more budget-friendly opportunity is really awesome. And this is a 13-inch model here, and this is a 15-inch model here. And I love the size of the trackpad on the 13-inch model. That's something that you don't see often, is how big this trackpad is. It's the same size as the 15-inch model, which is pretty awesome. So if we put these two head-to-head here, it has the same size trackpad, which is amazing that they've been able to fit that trackpad on a 13-inch model. The trackpad is quiet, it is smooth, it is secured to the chassis very well. Like I'm saying, so far, the first look on these ProBooks, I'm extremely satisfied. Let's look at the I/O ports now. Let me jump back up to my second angle here. So concerning the I/O ports, on the 15-inch model, we have a network port, we have the Kensington lock, we have USB, and then on the other side, we have 2 USBs, Thunderbolt, an HDMI port, and then a mini SD card slot. So that's the 15-inch model. On the 13-inch model, we have, sorry for the noise on the desk here, we have a Thunderbolt, we have a USB port, we have an HDMI. And then on the other side, looking at the other side there, we have the Kensington, the headphone jack, and the USB. Now, SC, to be totally honest, this port, I don't know what it is. So I'm sorry if you're way smarter and more techie than I am. I don't know what that SC port is. I need to look into that a little bit more. Like I said, I just pulled these. Excuse me, take a quick drink of coffee here. I just pulled these out of the box, so you're getting my first thoughts. Secondly, I like the grills here on the side and along the top. These, I'm almost 100% positive, are speakers, where the ProBook does not have that. Let's double check this real quick on the bottom. Yeah, those are our speakers. So we have speakers along the side here, whereas the ProBook, I'm pretty sure the ProBook speaker is somewhere nestled in this top grill, but then this also will act as ventilation. So let's see if you can see that here. So we have speaker grills, possible ventilation there, and then we have the ventilation here, and then I'm hoping speaker grills mounted up in here, but we're gonna get into the full review for that moving forward. Next up on the agenda is talking about the build quality. So that's one thing that I've been impressed with on my first look, is they're solid. They have the single hinge spanning the entire screen, which for a more budget-friendly laptop is going to give you a more durable, long-lasting laptop in regards to longevity's sake. Is that single hinge. So as you see, the 15-inch has that, as well as the 13-inch. Now, something that I'm really not stoked about, let's see if we can get you looking at that here, is this beveled edge. This beveled edge is a little on the sharp side. Luckily, it's kind of nestled under the edge there, so you're not really going to catch your hand on it. But I will say that it is, it's a good build. But this is a separate piece on the bottom, and it kind of has a sharp edge where it connects. But overall, you have the top keyboard deck and side panels as one piece of aluminum, and then you have the top covers aluminum, then you have your plastic hinge, plastic bezel, and then of course your bottom cover. So far I'm really enjoying the build quality. I've been getting a lot of HP gear lately. I'm enjoying reviewing HP. It's a brand I haven't looked at a lot over the past 2 years on my channel, but more recently HP has been an awesome partner to send gear to me that I review and then obviously send back to them. But I'm getting a glimpse at how much HP is improving. Back in the day when I used to see an HP laptop of this nature, it was very thick, it was round, and by round I mean it was like that like big thick chunky rounded design. There was a lot of plastic. These new laptops coming out from HP are really standing out to me. HP in my mind is becoming far more of a contender than I ever reckoned them before. I mean, some things like the HP Omen, the HP Pavilion, laptops that are well priced and have great performance. I would like to keep this laptop in my studio for a year and give out some longevity, give out a longevity review as I've done for the Acer Swift 3, because I want to see these two laptops, where they sit in the price point, how they are comparable, especially that the Acer is using Ryzen, but you can also get the new Acer Swift 3 in the i7 11th gen. So we got some good comparisons going on here. All right, another thing is talk about color accuracy. Color accuracy was an area I was slightly disappointed by. They both have about 60% sRGB and around the 30 to 40s Adobe RGB and DCI P3. So rather sad on the color gamut range spectrum. But one thing that I will point out is, though they're low on the color gamut range, as in the range that they reach, they are fairly color accurate within that range. And I guess that kind of is odd. Hey, what's going on, Lori? Thanks for coming on, buddy. I guess that's kind of odd, but they have low color gamut range, so it's 60% sRGB and in the 30s or 40s for the Adobe. Actually, I want to say it's like 49. But they have really good Delta E. So they both come in at or below Delta E of 3. So that's not incredible. They're going to have some slight variations, but that's much better than other laptops I've seen with bad color gamut ranges who end up having, and I say who, the laptop, who end up having 8 or 9 or 13 on the average Delta E rating. So these laptops don't have the best range, but they do reproduce within that range quite accurately. So that was a really nice note to see. Overall, though, like I'm saying, I'm really impressed so far with the first look of these all aluminum ProBooks. We're going to do full reviews, so if you're curious about that full review when it comes out, it'll be in the description below. But so far, you can see well built, They have good performance. Like I pointed out, inside of Photoshop, you have great benchmarks. So we'll drop over to that real quick. In Photoshop, you have great benchmarks. And just looking at the different shots here, there's some good looking laptops and they're fairly thin. Let's drop that down here. Pull that over here. It's a fairly thin laptop. Like I said, this is kind of like Acer Swift 3 status. So I'm pretty happy about this one. Lori, I hope you enjoy the setup. Lori's my buddy over at Tech Notice. He does awesome reviews on PC builds. What a guy. Stoked that I've been able to work with him on some different projects. But he has an incredible live stream setup, and I'm trying to step up my game a little bit, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this. For After Effects, this is a laptop. That's a great question. This laptop for After Effects, oh, you're actually talking about another laptop. The Zephyrus G15 for After Effects, absolutely, it would be a great laptop, and I will review it for After Effects. But right now, we're looking at the HP ProBooks, and I will say, final note before we head out, would this laptop be good for something like After Effects or video editing? In 1080p, these laptops would do very well. As far as After Effects and 4K on these laptops, they're going to be laggy. The integrated graphics just doesn't have what it takes to really pack a good punch in After Effects and 3D modeling. I'll show you that within the benchmarks whenever I do the full review of these two laptops. I'll put the i5 and the i7 head to head. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to walk through these. For now, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on those reviews. I'm Benji Kaiser. Just keep creating, keep designing, keep editing, and I'll see you guys here on the next one. Thank you so much.